Welcome to Data Analysis Scholarship course. Today we will be looking at automate Excel forms and macro. We are going to be looking at automate Excel forms and macros. Welcome once again to tonight's section. My name remains Franklin. We are going to take up a wonderful ride tonight on how to automate our task in Microsoft Excel and then design an automated form in Excel. We are live once again. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. That much appreciated. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. That will be much appreciated. Tonight we will be looking at macros, Excel forms, automations, how we can automate repetitive tasks and save loads of time in our day-to-day activities. Welcome once again to tonight's section. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see my screen. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Welcome to tonight's section. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. My name is Franklin. I'm a data analyst, I'm a data scientist, a management consultant, lead consultant, Soluma Institute of Tech and Management. Soluma Institute of Tech and Management is an institute that trains in diverse tech skills and managerial skills. Tech skills like data science, analysis, cybersecurity, ethical hacking, UI/UX software development, web development, and so on and so forth, graphic designs, video editing, AI, robotics, and so on and so forth. In the management side, we train on human resources management, project management, customer relationship, strategic management, administrative, and so on and so forth. Once again, you are welcome to tonight's section. Facilitated up for tonight's section, Mr. Franklin. Good to have you, good to have you, good to have you. Alright, if you are with me here, let's do as we always do. Go to the group, go to the scholarship group, let everyone know that we are live once again. Let everyone know that we are live, and also endeavor to proceed in this particular scholarship. All right. Let's do that ASAP. Let's do that ASAP. Let's do that ASAP. Let's do that ASAP. We are live here tonight. Let's quickly do that. Let's quickly do that. Share the live session, like the live session, and at the same time, let them know we are live. Let everyone know we are live. Let everyone know we are live. All right, welcome, Baloga. I can see you, Daniel. I can see you, Joseph. I can see you. Okay. We are good to go. I believe we are good to go once again. All right, let's get cracking. Let's get into what we have tonight. Let's quickly open to our Excel. Now, in the previous section, we did data entry automation. We designed data entry form, and because of certain stuff, we couldn't complete it. Already, if you are joining us for the first time, kindly check the video or the live training we did on automate data entry. You will see how you can design a form like this, how you can design it, how you can do the conditional formatting here, how you can put up your data validation. We have done that. How you can set up your form in such a way that it can now allow people to type in. Amina, thank you for that. If you are joining us, I will want us also to go to the scholarship group. As I'm seeing 7 persons or so on this live, go to the scholarship group. Amina, thank you for that. Go to the scholarship group, type in the scholarship group, we are live. I'm much interested and more specific for those in the scholarship. Also, you will hit the like button on this live session and then share the live session to other platforms you belong, to other platforms you are in. We are going to be learning something powerful tonight, something very, very interesting, something that is going to save us loads of time. Is something that is going to save us loads of time. Amina, thank you for having done that. Those of us that on this live, please, I want to encourage us to do that. Within a minute or two, we should be done with that. All right. While we are on it, this is stuff we have done in the previous section. You can design your form in such a way, or different ways you wish to design it. There are different ways you can do your choice. You can select your desired color. You can select your desired font. You can select your desired layout in any way you wish to do that. And if you have liked this section, if you have shared the link, and if you have tagged and let everyone in the scholarship group know we are live, please drop in the comments, drop in the chat by typing done. Type done in the chat if you have done that. If you have liked the section, if you have informed those in the scholarship group that we are already live, if you have shared the link to any of your platform you belong to, that will allow you to share such link, that will allow you to share such value. Type in the comments done. Type in the chat done. Let's do that. Type in the chat done. If you have done that, type it in the chat done. And if you are just joining us, please, I will also encourage you to do that as well. Tonight we are going to be learning something very, very important, how to automate tasks. Thank you, Michael Samuel. Thank you for having done that. Thank you for having done that. I'm on the chat right now. If you have done that, let me know. All right. As we progress, you already know how we get this. If I type, let's say, employee ID, I type 121 and hit enter, it will show this. It will mark good. This is by, you already know, I use the if function. If this cell is empty, return empty for me. If it's not, return P. And that P, I change the font style to Windows 2. And that's what gives me this good sign, or this good icon here, that will make it in such a way that once I enter any value here, it will mark good. If I enter national identity number, it will mark good. If I enter the tax number, whatever, it gives me good. The pension number, and that it gives me good. Then once I get to this place and enter the name, let's say I enter the name, let's say Franklin, first name, and then let's say the second name is this. For example, I hit enter. You see it will begin to show, okay, this one has been entered. If I come here and say gender and select male, it will tick that is being entered. Now we did this. I showed us how we can achieve this in the previous section. So if you missed that section, go ahead and watch that particular section to be up to date after tonight's section. All this formatting, design is what I took time to do in that previous session. Hence, let's proceed to automation. how we can automate. Now to do that, we are going to, let me name this form, let me name it employee form. Let me name it employee form. All right. Now that is the name of this sheet, employee form. Let me give it a color. Let's say I give it this color. Beautiful. Now the next is to get the database. I will name this employee database. Hit enter. Let me put it in this format. Use this color. Then let me create another sheet. Let me call that sheet demo. I will not put it anything. Now on the form, in the employee form, the thing I will do here is I will copy this, Control C, hold this, Control C, hold this, Control C. I'm going to copy this, rather highlights. Let me highlight them, then highlights. Also highlight this, and then highlight this. Control C. Okay. Multiple stuff. All right. Now I'm going to do that one by one. Let me highlight this. Control C. Let me paste it here. Control V. Okay. Then let me highlight this one, Control C, and then paste it here, Control V. Let's highlight this one as well, Control C. Let's paste it here, Control V. Let's highlight this one, Control C, and let's paste it here, Control V. Let's double click this, and let me remove wrap and double click this. Okay, then select this one, Control C, come over here and paste, Control V, right? Then finally select this one, Control C, and then paste it here, Control V. Okay, now what I did is to, take all the field names and paste this side. Why I did that? Because I will need it for my automation. So to do that, the next thing I will do here is to come in front here and link all this. I will say equals to this, enter, equals to this, enter, equals to this, enter. I'm linking. What I'm doing here is called cell linking. Cell linking. So I will select this, enter, say equals, I'll come over to this, enter, equals this, enter, then equals to this, enter, equals to this one, enter, equals to this, enter, say equals to this, enter, and then I say equals to come over to link this one, enter, do that one after the other, residential address equals to state of origin, enter, equals to local government of origin, enter, equals current state of residence, enter, equals to this one, So follow me as we do that. Emergency contact name, enter this as well. This one, so this equals this, enter, then equals to, we go up to department, enter, equals this, enter. The same way we do it for the rest. Date of employment, hit enter. Employment status, this, enter, and then bank name equals to, enter account number, enter equals gross salary, enter equals basic salary. Wait, let me be sure that, enter, let me be sure, gross salary, okay, is on gross. All right, equals housing allowance, enter, equals transport allowance, equals to other allowance, equals to pension, equals to payee, tax deduction, enter, equals to NHF. You remember when we did that NHF and payroll, net pay, enter, then annual, on this annual leave entitlement equals this, enter, equals to this, enter, and then finally this leave balance, enter. Okay, now we have done this. We have done this. We have linked everything. We have linked this, all the details here to this place. There is a reason why we need to do that. Okay, now having done that, I'm going to copy everything here. I'm going to copy everything here, Control C, and then come to employee database. Now under the employee database, I can choose to start from here. I can choose to start from here. I can choose to start from here. Anywhere you want to start from here. And instead of pasting, if I press Ctrl V, it will paste vertically. But I want to paste it horizontally. So I will right click. And then select this, transpose. I will right click and select transpose. So once I do that, that is done. I will select this, double click, and then do this and remove this. Remove the, what do we call it, the wrap test, and then double click in order to get this set up here. And then I can hold Control, hold Shift, press the forward arrow to highlight the entire range, and then come over to this place and okay, go over to this. Under this, I will select inside border, make it white, apply the white and say okay. Now we see that all of it are well separated. We can see the separation here. This becomes our database. As we can see, that becomes our database. Now having done that, we can also Control Shift forward arrow. Thus we can make it 12 and then let's, okay, let me zoom in a bit. This, let me zoom in a bit. All right, this makes it more visible. Okay, now having established that we just did our database, I can come here to call a name, whatever, to give it a title, merge and center, and make it a white text. Come here, make it this blue, and then type ABC, let's say employee database, for example. That's based on your choice. That's based on your choice. Okay, now having done that, the next thing we are going to do is to begin to design our button. Remember, we have to have a button where once everything is entered, you click submit. We want to make it in such a way that once you finish entering, you click on submit, and once you click on submit, then everything will be submitted and you have a fresh form again. Once you click on submit, Franklin Chinedu mail, every details concerning the employee will be submitted to this database, will be submitted to this place. Now, once it's been submitted here will be empty. We will have an empty form here, an empty cell here where you enter another details. Okay, now having established that, the next we do is to design that form, to design that button. And to get the button, we have to put it here. So that becomes that I will press Control Shift down arrow. Control backspace. That is Control down arrow to get to the final column, to the final cell under H. Why do I need to do that? I want to link it to this in order to make it, okay, don't worry, follow me. So here I'm going to type submit. Let me make it center aligned, and then let me select a font that I'm just looking for any font that okay, let's say I select this font and make it this color. Now, what do I want? I want to do something here. I'm going to make this font to be a bit this format, to be like this. I guess we can see this. You will see it is faint. The submit button is faint. I'm going to make it in such a way that once that is being clicked, I'm going to make it in such a way, if I complete the stuff, it will be active. And we want to make it in such a way that once I complete filling the form, the stuff will be active. Now, before I do that, let me copy Control C. Now, having copied this Control C, what I will do, instead of me pasting it straight like this, I'm going to go to paste, come here and paste it as linked picture. So once I do that, paste as linked picture, I have my link picture with me. This is it here. So what I will do is I'm going to take this Here, let me Control C. I made a mistake. Control C. Let me copy. I copied it. Now I want to paste it here in my form. I want to paste it in my form as a linked picture. Here, let me paste it here. Now instead of pasting it now, I'm going to say link. Now automatically we see this link like this, submit. We see it in this format. Now the next thing I can do is I can come down. Now I can come down, come over to this place, come over to this place and select white. And then come over to this and select this. So as if I go up, you will see it in such a way that now you will notice my form, my submit button here is faint. You will notice that is faint. Now follow me. There is something we are going to achieve. There is something we are going to do. Here I'm going to put stuff which I can call calculation. Okay, now under this calculation, I'm going to do something here now. I'm going to do something. I'm going to use a formula. I'm going to use a formula called count A. I'm going to use count A. Now what does count A does? Count A counts cells that are not blank. What it does, it counts cells that are not blank. What I'm going to do now before I apply this formula is to see that everything here has everything here have let me say 2000. Then marital status, let's say single. Let me ensure that everything here has data. I'm just typing anything for the sake of I'm just typing anything. Of course, we know that it's not anything that we can type. In real work, we type the accurate data. So let's note that. I'm just typing any stuff here so as to save our time. Okay, here I already did a data validation. I will select a bank name. Here I think I did employment status. I will select active, date of employment. Data validation here, full-time, job title, / position, let's say sales, department of sales as well. Now we have entered every details here and our form looks in this pattern. All right. Now what we are going to do, everything we are entering is showing here because we linked it. So what we are now going to do is to apply a formula here. Now in this place, I'm going to say equals to count A. I will double click here. Now once I do that, I'm going to come over to my form. Count A, I will highlight this and press comma. Highlight this one, this, and press comma. Highlight this as well. Press comma. Let's highlight this one as well. Press comma. Follow me very well and highlight this. Press comma. Also highlight this. Now that is what our count A formula will look like. Let's see what we have. So this is our formula, as we can see also in the formula bar. Count A, D5 to D8, D12 to D6, and stuff like that. Once we hit enter, it shows us that we have 37 entry. 37 entry. Now, having done that, the next thing we are going to do is we come down to this place. I'm going to copy this formula. I'm going to copy this formula. So I'm going to go this way, highlight it in the formula bar, and press Ctrl C. Once I copied it, then press the escape button. I press escape to escape. Then I will come here, Ctrl down arrow, to come down to that particular place I put my button that I linked to the other one in the form. So once I select it, I will go to conditional formatting. Under conditional formatting, I will come to manage cell rule, manage rules. Now once I click on it, I will come to new rule. Under new rule, I will come to this one that says use a formula to determine which cell to format. So I will select this and come here and paste the formula, Ctrl V. Remember, it's 37, I think. Yes, it's 37. So we are going to say equals to, if this equals 37, what do we want? If it equals 37, what do we want? We go to format. Under format, we come to fill. Give me this color. Then go to border. Let's say, okay, give me, let's say, border like this. Apply. For example, come to font, make it bold, and then the font color should be white. That is, I think that's what we want. And then I will say, okay. It will show us a preview of how it will look. What we are seeing here is how it will look like. And then I say, okay. Then we say, okay. Now, automatically, this becomes active. You can see it shows submit, active. Now, if we press Ctrl backspace, if we go up to this place, okay, that's true, we will delete this. Now, once that is done, I will copy this, Ctrl C. I will copy this, head up there, and paste. Let's say here is where I want my form to be. Instead of pasting, I will come here and say linked picture. So you see it pastes it as a linked picture. Now what happens here? What this means is this. This is what we have as a linked picture. We can still come here to make our picture look okay, depending on our choice. We can apply some of this stuff to it, depending on what we want. Our choice, the way we want it to be, that's definitely our choice. We can apply stuff like this and make it look like form. Our choice anyway. So if that is your choice, you can also come to picture layout, picture effect, and do some other stuff. You can select this, you can select this, any of these, sort edges, whatever. So it depends on you. You can also come here and make it this way. So your choice, depending on what you want it to be, the submit button. However, this is not really the point of emphasis. Now let's take, for example, we delete if here. Automatically you see, because this is deleted, we have not completed filling the form. This is no longer active. This button is not active. Until we complete it, type if. Until everything is complete here, we type if and hit enter. It becomes active. Now what of the formula, this formula we use here, we applied in the conditional formatting. Remember, that's what we said in conditional formatting. If it's equals to 37 rather, then give me this formatting, blue, whatever and whatever. So that is the way, a way you can make your stuff to be. Let me come to Vivo. Let's say I leave it this way. It's okay like this for me, depending on your choice anyway. I can your choice. Let's say I leave it this way. Now we have designed the button. This is our submit button. So once we finish entering, we submit. That is our submit button. Once we finish entering, we submit. Okay. Now, having done that, the next thing we are going to do is, having designed our submit button, the next thing we are going to do is this. We are going to begin our automation task. We are going to begin our automation task. So that is the next thing to do, to start recording our macros. Please let me know if you can hear me. If you can still hear me, let me know, because we are going over to macro automation. And if you are just joining us, this is data analysis scholarship course using Microsoft Excel. Is a data analysis scholarship course using Microsoft Excel. Those of us in the scholarship group, remember that attendance is very, very necessary, mandatory, and also your project assignments, very, very mandatory. Also, all right, let me know if you can hear me once again, if I'm audible, if you can see my screen, because I'm moving to the next phase, which is data, which is to automate using macros. Okay, I mean, I'm going to hear that. Yes, we can hear you. Beautiful. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do is to automate. And to do that, we will need to start to record our macros. And as we can see, there is no developer tab here. My system has issues, I have to format it, and that's why you are not seeing some of the things you are seeing earlier. I have to format it and install a new office here. All right, now to activate my developer tab, I will right click here, go to customize ribbon. This dialog box will appear. I will have to click here, click on this, and then say okay. My developer tab becomes active. All right. Now, when you click here, you will see record macros. You will see macros, you will see record macros. Another way you will see it is when you look at the bottom left of your Excel file, you will see an icon here. You follow my cursor, you will see an icon here. That also is macro. It says no macros are currently recorded. Click to begin recording a new macro. So any of them, you can see the macros here. You can start your recording of macros here. All right. Now, having done that, we can start with, we click here, record macro. Now, if we ask us what name do we want to give it, we can call it ABC. Let's say we call it, okay, let me do that, ABC underscore employment. Let's say ABC underscore employment. Now that's the name we are giving it. Now remember, it doesn't accept space. No space, no spaces, no hyphen, just stuff. Either you write it together or you can separate it with underscore. All right. Okay, Timothy, you are talking about the submit button. Anywhere you want to position your submit button, that's your choice. I just decided to put it in that place, on that place. Anywhere you want is your choice. Okay, then anywhere you want to position your submit button is your choice. All right, now here is asking us what shortcut key do we want when we want to run this macro. What shortcut key? Let's say you can select a shortcut key that is not really all these known shortcuts, like Control A is known for highlighting. When you want to use it, you might be running a macro. So you might have to maybe select inside here what you can remember. Here I might put let's say greater than. Once I press Control greater than, it will run the macro. Now here is asking us where we want to store the macro. Here we have personal macro workbook, we have new workbook, this workbook. Now if you do it in this workbook, it will be only active in this particular workbook. But if you select personal macros, in any workbook you can run this macro on it as well. We are going to go into macros more. After this, I'm going to also now take us to teach stuff as regards to Excel macros. All right. Okay, now I'm going to select personal macro workbook. The description, I'm going to leave it blank, and then I will say okay. Okay, it's telling me shortcut must be a letter. All right. Then let me ignore it. I don't need the shortcut for now. Then I will say okay. Now once that is done, you will see that already a macro recording has started. What is macro? Macro is an Excel enabled engine that record our actions, our tasks, our activities in Excel and automatically apply it in our next attempt. Now, what that means is that if you are one that does stuff over and over again repeatedly, let's say every now and then you receive data and you have to clean it, you have to format it, instead of doing that all over again, split, removing, trimming, putting a proper case, removing spaces, putting it in order, putting color, background color, highlighting, and what have you. It's mean that every now and then you are doing it. Today you receive the same type of data, you do the same thing. Tomorrow the same data, you receive the same kind of data, you do the same thing. Why not this? Why not create a macro and then run it once and for all? Tomorrow when you receive it, you just run that macro on that data. Everything is done within a click. Within seconds. So macro is an Excel enabled engine that helps us to automate our task, especially the tasks we do repeatedly. It will help us to automate it, that anytime we have that task again, we are not going to go through the process overall. We just run that same macro. Excel will apply the same formatting, the same stuff in a click, in split seconds. That's what macro is all about. All right. Now, Our macro is recording. The next, what I will do is, this that I feed, I will come over to this place. I will come over to this place. I will highlight everything without the calculation. I will highlight everything and press Ctrl C. Now, this Ctrl C I did here, I will first go to demo. This demo is to help me transform the data entry, to transform the data entry effectively. So once I do that, I can come here. Instead of pasting, let me go to home. Let me click on home. And then instead of to paste as value, let me come here and paste. You click on paste special. I want to paste it as values. If I have any of them that is formula, whatever, let it be as values. Then once I post as values, and then I will select transpose. I will select transpose. So once I do that, I hit OK. So automatically it pastes it in a horizontal format. I will copy it, Ctrl C, copy it, and then come over to my database. This is where I want it to be finally submitted. Now come over to my database, click the first cell beneath. Now instead of pasting here, instead of now coming to say paste straight, I will go over to insert. I will go over to this insert option and then click on insert copied cells. Once I click on insert copied cell, it brings this option for me. It says shift cell right. That's not what I want. I want it to shift the cell down. What that means is that if I receive a new data, if I submit new data, let the previous one be shifted down. Let the latest one be on top. So once that is done, I will come here to click. I will come here to click on shift cells down. So once I do that, I say OK. Automatically it pastes stuff I have here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to come to the date of birth here, format it as date, short date. Then anywhere I have dates in this data sets or in this entry, let me check. I think there's another place. Yes, employment. Where is it? Date of employment. Okay, it's already on this. Let me make sure is short date. All right. Any other dates? Not sure. Okay, that's what we have. Now, having done that, we have to go back to the form. Now, when we get back to the form, follow me, please. Follow me. Ensure then we will come here to delete. We come here, delete every stuff here. Come and delete them. Date of birth, delete. This one already is there. Delete this. Delete. Delete. Just delete everything. Delete everything. Ensure you delete everything as it were alien. I think we are done. Is there anyone remaining? Okay, think that is all. Okay, we haven't deleted the pension number. Delete this. Ensure you delete all. Okay, now once that is done, once we deleted everything, the next thing we are going to do is to stop macros. So to stop it, you can come to this button place to stop macro. It's telling you that a macro is currently recording. Click to stop, or you go to your developer tab as well and click on stop macros. Now let's stop our macro. So we have stopped the macros. The next thing we are going to do is now to this macro that we recorded. We need to assign this macro to this button, to this picture, or this submit button, so that it will be clickable. As you can see here now, we can click it. We can only select it. It cannot be clicked like something like you want to click on a form to something to click. No, it's not clickable. You can only select. So what we have to do is to assign the macro we just recorded to this, the button, the submit button we designed. That is what we need to do. And to do that, we have to come here, select this, right click. Under right click, you will see this option that says assign macro. Assign macro. So we click on it. It will open up this dialog box. It will ask us these pictures is click what macro. This is the macro we recorded. The personal asset, the ABC employee. I will select it and then say OK. Now if I come here, you see that it's not clickable. I can now submit it. Now what this is that when you come here, even if here is empty and you click, you can still submit empty cells. It can still submit empty cells. Okay, now let's check our macros and see how it runs. Now let's enter stuff here. Employee ID, the main number, the tax number, pension number. Let's say we have the name is Ama Femi, gender, let's say male, date of birth, marital status, single, phone number 080, email, let's say we have femi@gmail.com, residential address 12 Bomoshaw kind of route. State of origin, current state of residence, emergency contacts. Okay, emergency contact name. That's let's say Ama contact, emergency contact 080 this. Okay, leave entitlements, annual leave taking 10, remaining 11, let's say it's 21 day. Here I'm going to type anything. I'm just typing anything here. Then on the bank name, I select, let's say, Fidelity. Please, can we still hear me? Let's confirm if I'm still audible. Let's confirm if I'm still audible. Then department, let's say Department of Sales, let's say Accounts. Here, let's say Account Officer. Employment type, full-time, date of employment 2022, and then employment status, active. Now let's say we have entered all these details. Beautiful. Okay. Now let's say we have entered all these details. As you can see, our submit button is active. Now let's click on it. Automatically we see that everything is submitted and our form is now fresh for new entry. So once the submit button is clicked, our form is fresh for new entry, and this one is no longer, it doesn't look as if it's active for entry. Now let's go to our database and see what we did. Automatically you see that this one we entered have pushed the previous one down, and then it has taken the space. If we enter anything here and submit, it will also be in that format. That is in the data entry automation. Now the beauty of this is that we can design our form in this format. We can design our form in this workbook, and also the database, and then our database in another workbook. For example, let me press Ctrl N to open another workbook. This another workbook here. Now I can call it, let me call it just database. Let me call it just database, and then come here, let me call this one demo. Okay. Now what I'm saying is this. I can have this here. This is a workbook. I can also have this. This another workbook. Let me make them to show two of them at once, so that we can understand well what I'm talking about. Now what I'm saying is this. that in this workbook, this one I can design the form. I can design this form in this workbook and then submit to this workbook. If I don't want the persons handling this form to have access to the database, so this employee database can be in this workbook, and then I password it. We have talked about data security, how to password your workbook, and how to put password to the worksheet so that people don't get access, unauthorized access to it. So I can design a form, run macros, and assign that macro to this, and then automate it in order that when it's being submitted, it will submit directly to this particular database, to this workbook. So the form design is in this workbook, the database is in this workbook. Now for us to do that is the same process. The same process. What is the process? The process is to record macros. So let me come here to copy this due to time so that we don't waste much time. Highlight, press Ctrl C, and let me come to my database here. Under this, let me paste it, Ctrl V, and all right, okay, so that I don't waste much time on that. That's why I did that. Press escape for that to disappear. All right, the next I will now do is to come to the form. Let me enter things on the form due to time. I will just enter anything on the forms, whatever this, I'm just entering stuff. Date of birth, now you remember I used the formula to make this so that once I enter the date of birth, the age will calculate automatically. So remember I did that in the previous section where we use dated if. Okay, we have the phone number, okay, let's call this email, I'm just entering any value. I want to use that to show us that we can submit from this workbook to this particular workbook, provided that is the same system, is in the same computer system. So that's, we can load that. Okay, this one has validation, so that I select it. This one has validation. Let's say it's on leave, and then bank, it has validation, then number. Excuse me. So I want to get data into these cells first, then copy, start to run my macros. Okay, now having done that, if we come over to this place, we see that every details is here, and if we come down, we see that this is active. If I click this submit button, it will be submitted to this particular database. But I want to, in a way that it will first be submitted to this place. Now let's do it again. Once I entered all the details, what I will do is to now come over to my developer and then start macro, to record macro. Look at it here, or this place. So once I click record macro, it will show me this. I will call it ABC 2. Let me use ABC 2, personal macro workbook, and then I click on OK. My macro is active, is recording now. So what do I need to do? I will have to come to this place. Select every information here, every detail here, apart from 37. This is the formula that gave us conditional formatting. I will say Ctrl C to copy. Now, instead of using this, I will come over to this workbook. Select this, click on demo, come over here. Instead of pasting straight, I will come to paste special, paste as values, and then and transpose. Once I select values and transpose, I will say OK. Now, once that is done, I will copy it, Ctrl C. I will copy Ctrl C and come over to this database. Now, in this database, instead of me pasting, I will come here. Instead to paste, I will come under cells, come to insert cells, select insert copied cells. This comes out, I will select this one, shift cells down. I will select this option and say OK. So once that is done, Excel is recording these actions I'm taking. Every action I'm taking, Excel is recording it. Every action, Excel is recording it. So once I'm done here, the next thing to do is that I'm coming over to this workbook. Now on this workbook, I'm going to come over to this place to delete. Highlight, press the delete button. Highlight the other one, I did it one by one so that we can see it clearly. Press the delete button. Highlight this, press delete. Highlight, press delete, and then highlight this and press delete. That is what we have. So once that is done, I will have to go to this place and stop my macro, stop recording. So once that is done, my macro is recorded. Now, I can now come here and right click. Instead of clicking, this is my button, I right click. Once I right click, it say assign macro. I select it. Now this one, I want to assign this particular macro to it, no longer this one. I will select this and then say OK. So this macro, the one that is assigned is the one that will enable it to send to this one. So that's the macro that is being assigned. Now let's enter information again. Due to time, I'm going to be typing randomly. I'm going to be typing randomly. You can see what happened. I deleted the formula. Okay, let me type it again. Let me do that again. Equals to dated if, open bracket, select date of birth, comma, type in today, that's, then close it, comma, open quotation, put y as ye, close it and close this, hit enter. Okay, that gives us what we have there. Then this phone number, whatever we have, are they as, okay, let me put, okay, residential address, state of origin, now here I'm typing whatever that enter my mind. The ones that have validation I'm going to select. Okay, this is dates. Okay, we are making progress. I want to show us that because we have assigned that particular macro we recorded where it will submit. So you can use this for any form, for any entry form you are collating, whether it's registration form in a school, they come to register, instead of you doing it manually, they create a form like this, put a database where they submit it. Once they click on submit button, it sends to the database, and then it's there for you you can use it for your analysis and what have you, so that every now and then, if you have used it for analysis and then you receive another data, you just need to refresh. Your dashboard will update, your pivot table will update, whatever you did will be automated. All right. Now we have done that, and we see that our submit button is active. So if I click on this, you see that as we can look at this, is supposed to clear, or did I stop macro without clearing it? Did I stop the macro without clearing it? I think so. I didn't. Is submitting. Is being submitted. So what you need to do is, I think for this one now, you delete it one after the other. If you do that, it will definitely work like we did to this. It will work like we did to this. Now let's assign the previous macro. Right click, assign macro, assign it this one, and say okay. Now if I submit this one now, because I deleted it one after the other, please do that like that. Delete it one after the other. Delete it one by one. And then once I click enter, you see that automatically everything clears. Then we have them submitted to this particular one. So what you need to do is to ensure that you use it, you delete. After you have done that, the last thing you need to do is to delete them one after the other. Don't delete them together like this. I think that's the challenge. but I have used that before like this and it works. But if that happens for your own, you have that challenge, you can come over and delete them one by one after the other, do it one by one, and then assign the macro. So what I just did is to show us that the form can be here, and then you submit in another workbook. Note that, very, very important. The form can be here, you submit in another workbook. Now, let's open up. Now, having done this, what do we do to this? We can hide this guy. Hide it so that it will not be seen. Nobody will see it. So what do we just do? Let's highlight everything here. Come to home. Let's come to this and select this. So that is gone. Then we come to test and select the test as well to be this. So that is gone. It looks as if nothing is there. Let's go to format and clear format. That is one. I think that will be okay for me. Then apply this. So it looks as if nothing is here. It looks as if there is nothing there. And when we look at our form, it looks okay. Let me zoom in a bit so that we can see it at one glance. We can see the form in a glance, at a glance. Now this is our form. This count A. I can all right. So as you can see, this is our form in a glance. So that's how you please, can we still hear me? Let me know. That's how you can automate an entry form. It can be sales entry, it can be a sales form, it can be sales entry form, it can be student registration form, it can be inventory form where I enter inventory details and submit to the database. It can be anything provided you are collecting data. You can design a form like this and assign a macro so that once you click on submit, everything here will be submitted and you will be left with a blank space. You will be left with a blank space. That is the automated entry form. Now, having established that, let's go further to look at macros in a broad form. What you can also use macros to do. Before we go into that, let me know, did you understand what I just taught? Do you understand what I just explained? What we just learned? How to automate data entry, how to automate a form, design a form in Excel, automate it either for the same workbook or for another workbook. Let me know, give me that feedback. Let me know. Are we still on, guys? Are we still on? I'm waiting for us. Let me know. Are we still on? Do we understand what we just taught now? What I just taught, did we understand it? Let me get that feedback from us before I move to the next, which is macros. to explain macro further, to explain macro better. We have less than 1 hour. Let's respond. If we can hear me, let's respond actively. Did we understand what I just taught? Did we understand what we just taught? I'm in the chat. Let me know if you get that, so that we move to the next, which is macros, Excel macros. We have seen how we can assign macro, how we can record macros, but there are different stuff that we can do with macro. There are different stuff. It's not just in entry form. We can use it in our data cleaning. You can clean a data once, and you can use that to automatically clean subsequent data that is coming, subsequent data that you received. So let me know from us. Let me know. Okay. Timothy said, after submitting, must someone delete it manually or it will be deleted automatically? Now, remember, when you are recording macro, you entered all the details here. Once you enter all the details here and then copy it from here, go to your demo, paste, copy from demo, do everything. First, paste the first one here. You have to come back while your macro is still on and start to delete them one after the other. Once you are done deleting them one after the other, you delete them one after the other, then you stop macro. Now let me do that one more time. Now watch me to do that one more time. Let's go over to start recording macro. I'm doing it afresh, so we follow and understand that. Okay, Amina said from my side is well understood. I just need to watch the live section again so I can try it out. Thank you so much, sir. The section is exciting for me. Beautiful. Then yes, sir, is not complex anyways, but I'm sure I'm watching this again to try it. Okay. Now, Timothy, I'm going to do that for the last time. Others are following. What we need to do is enter details. From here, I'm going to be entering anything at random. Don't think of what I'm entering. I'm going to be entering things at random. Okay, this validation, I need to select anyone here, date of birth, and the person is 2 years. Don't mind that person. So here the phone number, whatever. Then here, once your details are entered, and here there is type, here there is validation. Once here there is validation as well. Then here, I'm just entering anything. Just know that once that is done, you will see once we complete it, our stuff is active. The submit button is active. So what we need to do is simple. Come here, copy this. First, before you do that, everything has been entered. You go to developer, start recording your macro. You click on record macro. What is the name of the macro? I'm going to call it, let's say, let me just say AAA, my personal workbook, and then say okay. The macro has started. What I will do is that I will come here to copy down, accept the calculation, press Ctrl C, go over to demo. Under here I just need to right click and paste as transpose, or go to my home, come over to this place, go to paste special, select paste as values, paste as transpose, and this is shows it paste in horizontal form. I copy, Ctrl C, come over to my database. Come over to my database. Right here, instead of pasting it, Ctrl V straight, I will go to insert cells and say insert copied cells. So once this is, what this does is to give me the privilege that once I receive a new data, it will push the previous one down. So that's why I'm going to select shift cell down and then hit OK. Is pasted. Then I will come over to my entry form here. While my macros is still active, I will come over to this and then delete them one by one. Then I will leave this, delete them one by one. Then come over to this place, delete. Alright, once everything is done, once I'm done deleting, I will go over to my developer and then stop recording. That is all. So what I will do is to come over to this, right click, assign that macro. Go to assign macros and then select it. This is the third macro that I recorded. That's the AAA. AAA, then select it. Once that is done, I will say OK. Now, if I enter details here, and let's say I'm just want to type any number, and then just let me put different stuff in different places. Okay, now it can submit both empty cells. It can submit both empty cells so that we get that. Now, that the button is not active doesn't mean it will not submit, but is to make employees or anybody entering to know that there is one that I haven't entered. This is not like if it's not completed, it will not click. I need to explain that. It's not that if it's not completed, this will not click. It will click. Now, if I click on it, you will see that everything is submitted. And then our form is now fresh. If I go to this place, to the employee database, we see what we submitted. You see the ones that, you see this one now, is empty. So it pushes cells down, and then you see the ones empty, it pushes this one down to receive a fresh one. So that is how you record your macros to automate it. Why I did conditional formatting is to help guide the person's feeling that if this didn't turn blue, the person will not easily see the submit button. So once he finishes and it turns blue, he or she will see the submit button and click on it. Now if I submit now, it will submit empty. Now let me click again. It has done the submitting as we see it now. If we go to this place, you see that it submitted empty cells. So that is how we go about that. All right. Having established that, how do you save your file? How do you save it? Now, please, I need to state this. The name here and the name here, whatever you use here, and here, you shouldn't change it after you have recorded your macro. If you change the name, it will no longer work. Now watch what I mean. If I come here, instead of saying employee form, I put employee forms. I add X to it and hit enter. Now if I click submit, you notice something is telling me micro visual basic, runtime error, subscript out of range. Why? Because the name Excel knows this to be the Excel. While it's running macro, it calls it employee form, not employee forms. So once I change the name, the macro will no longer run. So if I come back here and make it enter employee form and then click submit, you see automatically it performs the action. Why? Because in recording the macro, recording the step, Excel knows that the name of this sheet is employee form, not employee forms. So if peradventure tomorrow you change the name, that macro you recorded becomes inactive. It will not work. So you will have to, first of all, if I save this to be another name instead of book one, it will not work. So you will first of all save your file, know the name you want to call it, ABC employee data or database or form here, whatever it is. But for teaching purposes, I'm not going to go through that process. So what I will do is I'm going to press Ctrl X to save. Now once that is done, it brings me to save as. Now, and where do I want to save? I will come to PC. Let's say I want to save it on my desktop. I select desktop. Now it brings me to this place. Now please pay attention and get this. You don't save a macro workbook as Excel workbook. No. What you do is you click here and come to select this one. You see Excel macro enabled workbook. That's what you are going to save your workbook as. Not as Excel workbook, but as Excel enabled. If you save it as Excel workbook, you are going to lose the macros you have run. That macro will not be active the next time you open it. But when you save it as Excel enabled macro, whenever you open it, that macros is active. You can run as many macro as it. You can use that macro you recorded as to do as many stuff you want to do as possible. So I'm going to click on this Excel macro enabled workbook and then say save. So this macro is saved. I guess we got what I just explained. Can we let me know, did we understood what I explained as regards to saving Excel macros? As regards to saving your workbook that you automated using Excel macro, did we understand that? Type in the comment section if you understood it. Type in the comment section understood. Type in the comment section if you understood that. If you understand what I just explained as how you save your Excel macro, let me know. Your workbook that you automated using X macros, let me know. Type in the comment if you understand it. Let me see in the comment if you understood what I just explained. Let me see in the comments before we proceed to the next stuff on our agenda to explain further on Excel macro. I need us to get this foundation first before I proceed. If you understood what I just explained as regards to Excel macro, let me know. Drop in the chat, much appreciated. If you understood what I just explained on how you save your macro workbook, drop in the chat box. I'm waiting for us in the chats so that I will proceed. If you understood how to save the macro workbook, once you activate macro on that workbook, how you can save it and why you should save it as Excel macro enabled workbook, drop in the chat understood. If you understood that, drop it in the chat. I'm waiting for us. Those of us that are with me on this live, drop it in the chat. If you understand how to save a macro workbook and the reason why you need to do that, drop it in the chat. We are moving further to what we have. All right, beautiful. Okay, now let's take for example. Okay, let's say I have this. Let's say, where can I get? Okay, let's say I have this. Let me copy this, Control C. I'm going further to teach us certain things as regards to macros. I'm going further to do that. And let me paste it, Control V. Okay, now let's say every now and then I receive this data. Let's say customers or sales report, whatever, I receive this data. And once I receive this data, I do format it I have to format it over and over again. Let's say today I will receive data like this, and then tomorrow I will also receive data like this, and what have you. Now, instead of doing the same thing over and over again, the organization has a standard, has a format to which we format data and what have you. Instead of doing same thing over and over again, now I can come here and use macro to do that once and for all. And once I do that, then anytime I receive the data, I will just click a button, everything will be done. So let's see how we can do that. The same way we go to developer, start our macros, then let's call it, let's say is formatting. Let me call it formatting. And personal workbook is okay. Now here, let's say I come here, select this, go to data. Under data, I go to text columns, click on text columns. I want it to be by delimited. I say next. I want to use space. Anywhere I see space, separate it. I want space. And then this is okay. I will go to next. And I will say finish. Okay, now I just splitted this to this. That is the first step. Then the next, I can come here to insert data on top. I can come here and now call this first name, last name, department, let's say we call this hire date, and this one hire date, this basic salary. Macro is recording all this. Then the next we can do is to come here, come over to this place, and let's make it white. Then let's say we make it this blue color, bold, increase the font, and double click in order to highlight everything. Now the next thing we are going to do is, let's say we highlight the entire stuff, and let's apply bold if we want, and then come to this place and go to, let's say apply all border if we want, apply all border, and what next? We can also come here and then go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules greater than, let's say those that is greater than 300, those that is greater than 300,000, let's use red, or we can let me start from here, Control Shift down, down, down. Then conditional formatting, highlight cell rules greater than, let's say 300. We can select whatever, but let's leave it at that. Let's leave it with the red, and then we say okay. Now we have just finished formatting. Let's say this is the way the organization wants us to format our data. Once we receive it, it needs to be formatted in this format. Now, once that is done, I will head over to developer and then stop macro. Stop macro. Now, this macro that I just recorded for this particular task. Now, let's say tomorrow I receive another data. Let's say tomorrow I receive another data. Let me copy a different data here. A different data. Control C. And then Control V. I received a new data. Now, instead of doing the stuff all over again, putting the heading, splitting it, applying conditional formatting and all that, I will just have to head over to these macros. Look at this place, macros. Once I click on it, it will bring out all the macros that I have. Now, once I click on this is the macro for formatting, and then I say run. It will show me that we want to replace. I say okay. Every other thing automatically is done. As we can see it, everything is automatically done. So here what happened is, because this one has a 3 names, is splitted it and it enters into this. So you need to ensure that your data is well cleaned. You need to ensure that your data is well cleaned, and because of that, the department name is no longer, those in department is not valid. So if I press Ctrl Z, it will not work. So what we can do is to come to this macro. Under this macro, we can come to edit. Okay, there are hidden workbook here. There are hidden workbook. I will have to come to this, select this format macro. There are hidden workbook here. I need to unhide. There are certain I don't want to show. Let me use a fresh workbook, Control N. Let me do that in fresh workbook, Control N, and let me come over to this place to copy, and let's Control V to paste. These are fresh workbook, and then let me head over to developer, come to macros. These are the same macro, whether it's in a new workbook. So if I select this formatting and click on run, it will ask me that same question. I click OK. Then the other things are being formatted. However, we have this challenge. So what I will do is, if I go to this macro, I will come to edit. Okay, where I got the macro, there is hidden stuff there. Okay, that's that way. So what we need to ensure that our data is cleaned. It comes in a format we used in the previous macro. So watch what, let me copy something. Let me copy from here that I'm sure that just true, and say Ctrl C. Let's get to the new workbook. Let me come here and say Ctrl V. All right. Okay. Now, once that is done, head over to your macro. Then select this and you run. It will say, you say, okay, every other thing is done. Okay, I still have this Mr. Buck here. I still have that Mr. Buck. Okay, let me say Ctrl C. Ctrl Ctrl V. So let me delete this, because the delimiter we use says anywhere there is space. Anywhere there is space. So let me remove this first. I have removed that Mr. Is there any other Mr. here? No. So if I go to this and then apply this and say run, it will ask me that. I will say okay. Everything will be formatted. That way I will no longer need to be doing the process all over again. So with that, macro will be used to make repetitive tasks to be done so easily. Once you are able to record it once and for all, you just have to apply the macros. Okay, now another stuff you can do is, in this place, instead of going to be looking for macros and clicking and run, you can come to developer and come to insert, and then insert a button. Let's say you insert this button, click on it and drag, let's say stuff like this. Now once that is done, it will ask you which of the macro do you want this button to be. You select this. You select this particular macro formatting and you say okay. That button will display. Then right click on it, go to edit text. You can edit the name to, like, you can call it format. You can call it format, and you can call it format. Now if you get any stuff to run, it will definitely run it. So right click here. Once you right click, you can copy, go to a new sheet, paste it anywhere you want it to be. Let's say you want it here, you paste, Ctrl V, your choice. Format, if you also come to this new sheet, you can also paste it here, Ctrl V, your choice, anywhere you want it to be. Now let's bring in data, the same type of, the same format of data, let's bring in the same format of data. And then for formatting, let's say we receive this data, Ctrl C, let's head over to this place. This is sheet 4. Let's paste it here. Come to sheet 5. Let's paste sheet 5 here as well. Now once that is done, you receive it and you have your format button. You can just come here and click. It will ask you, you say okay. Every other thing will be done automatically. There is no two ways about it. You can also come here and click. You say yes. Every other thing will be done automatically. So you don't need to be doing the same process over and over and over again. And that is one of the stuff as regards to macros. Now, let me record a new macro and show us something. Control N. I'm rounding up. We are learning one of a powerful tool that you can use in your workplace, in your school, whatever. You can use that every now and then. Those calculations you do, those entries you do in school, registrations, in whatever you are doing repeatedly, you can automate that task in Excel using macros, and then run it with a click of button. Just once you click, it's done. This is one powerful feature of Excel that saves us a lot of work time. You are cleaning data, you are using Excel for data cleaning, proper, and what have you. You do all those things at a click of button. So whenever you receive the same data set, similar data set, and you are going to do the same stuff to the new data set you receive. You don't need to go through that process of that took you 10 minutes, that took you 30 minutes, that took you 1 hour, depending on what you did. You don't need to go through those process. All you just need is to run your macro. You can insert it with a button, and with that button you click, everything takes care of itself. We just learned one of Excel powerful features this night. With this, you can save yourself a whole lot of time. We just learned one of Excel powerful features this night. So the thing I want to do here is let me just put now let me just put stuff like this instead of time. Let me see if I can get okay, let me get this name, Control C, instead of time, due to time, let me paste it here, and I'm just looking for data to okay, let's say with this, there is something I want to show us. Now let's say I have this and I need to do some formatting on it, get it ready and what have you and stuff like that. So I can go to my developer, start record macro. What name do I need to call it? I can call it let's say data format. Okay, now the next thing, my macro is on. I can come here, insert, then on top here I can have first name, last name. Now let's say I made a mistake here in this as I did. Let's say I made a mistake there. So Control Shift down, highlight, go down, and then come to data. Under data, I come to text to column. Under text to column delimited, that's what I want. I move to next. I need it in space. I need it based on the spacing. Then I say next and finish. Alright, it push them over to this place. The next I will do is to come over to this place, come to home, bold it, increase the font, make them align, and let's say I select this, then make it white, and select the entire place, come to this, come over to this place, select this color, apply inner, and then say okay. We have this, for example. Now once I'm done, I can go ahead to my macro and stop macro. Now I can come here, insert, select button, and insert the macro for to this button. Once I'm done, it will open up. The one I want to do is data format. I select the macro and then say okay. So that is the button. Now let's right click, edit text, and call it data format or data formatting. Now that's the name. The next, let me open another sheet, and open another sheet. Now let's get other names. Control C, and let's paste here Control V. Let's copy this one, Control C, and let's paste here Control V. There is something that we also need to explain to us so that we understand certain things. If I didn't explain it, we most definitely we encounter some errors. So here, let me copy this one. Let me copy this. Control C. We most definitely will encounter some errors. So I need to explain that, and then Control V. Now we have this data received. I can come here, right click, not to click, right click, and then copy. Come over to this place, paste. Come over, anywhere you want to paste is your choice anywhere. Let's come over to this place and paste. So with this, I can come here and click on this. It will automatically run my formatting for me, and then retain the previous one, the color it came with. This one, I click on it, run my formatting for me, as we can see. Then this run my formatting for me, as we can see. All right, now go with me. I'm rounding up. I want to show us something. Now let me come over to this place. Let me select this student data again. Let me copy this, Control C, come over to this and paste Control V. All right. Now let's say for this I right click and then insert on top. Then on top of it I say first name, last name. Now to do this, I select only this. Remember, previously I'm highlighting the two, or I will click on this to highlight all, but now I decided to select only this. Go to data and then come to text to column. I need it in delimited, and then next, space is okay, next, I'm okay, and then finish. It moves this to this side, and then I will come on top here, make this aspect, double click here, for example, let's say only this place I made it bold, only this place I made it bold, and then let's say I increase the font, only this, and that is what I did. Oh, I didn't even start recording macro, forgive me. Let me undo everything. Let me undo everything. Okay, this is where we are. So once, let me come to developer, record macro. What name do I need to call it? Let's call it ABC macro, like this. For example, enter. All right, our macro is recorded. So I can come here, right click, insert, come over to this place, and type first name, last name. Okay, now once that is done, instead of clicking here to select the entire range, I'm highlighting this only. Once that is done, go to data, text to column, delimited. Okay, next is, I need it in space because these are spaces. Then next and finish. They are already separated. Like I said earlier, we can do this, come to home, do this, bold it, increase the font, double click here. I can also come over to this, bold it, and increase the font. Let's say this is what I have to record, and then head over to my developer and stop my macro. Now once that is done, I can also draw a button, assign that macro to it, which is ABC macro, and then I say okay. That's the button. Now let me receive a new data. Now watch here. This Excel, the macro recorded only this size. Now let's receive a new data. Let's receive new data. So you understand why I'm highlighting the entire range. So let's receive a new data. Oh, definitely this is longer than, or much longer than what we worked on before. So let's come over to this place. We just received new data and we paste. So this is our macro. Let me right click here, copy, come to this place and paste. So now once I click on run macro, watch what happens. You notice that only it performed that formatting only to the range of cells I selected when I was doing this. But the previous ones, irrespective of the size, irrespective of the length or whatever, it did everything together. Why? Because I'm selecting what I'm selecting from A. When I click this, it goes down to the last. If I click this, it goes down to the last. So why you need to do that? Because peradventure, what you did here on this line, you receive a new data set, but that one is longer or shorter, whatever is, but that one is, it has more data, has more range of data than the previous one. It will apply it rather than doing only this one, rather than doing only for this and leave these ones. However, had it been I did it this manner, it would have been done for the other ones. That's one of the things you need to understand in macro. So bear that in mind. Now let's take for example, here we see this mistake we made. Last name is a mistake. Now if you want to correct it, will you go ahead to delete the macro, or two ways you can run the macro again? Correct the error and run the macro again. Now instead of doing that, you can come to this, under this macro. Which macro did we use for this? Okay, it's already, which macro did we use for it? For this. Which macro? Which macro did we use for it? Is it ABC macro or AAA? Let me check. So let's take, for example, if this is the macro we used for this, you go to edit. Okay, it's not it, it's the hidden one. Let me check this. Go to edit. It's also a hidden workbook. Go to edit, a hidden one, Excel macro. No, this can no longer be. On a hidden workbook. Unhide the workbook. Okay. I know what is happening. There is a workbook that has this macro in it, and this also is for all the workbook. Now let me change it to this workbook, and okay, it did the same thing, but there is something I'm looking for. It ran this a separate macro for me. Due to time, there is something I wanted to explain to us. Let me do that quickly. Time will not be on my side. Time will not permit me. Time will not permit me. Now, how you can quickly edit this in case you make a mistake? How you can quickly edit this? Well, on your own, make research and find out. Time will not permit me. But if you make mistake, go over to this place, come to edit. It will open up a Visual Basic place where you see some programming, some code, VBA codes. There is a place, you just go to that place, change the name. You will see the last name, you change it, and it will be done. All right. It's on this note we have come to the end of tonight's section. If you are with me up to now, drop your name and your scholarship ID. That will be our attendance. Our time is fast spent. We're already 15 minutes off. Drop your name and your scholarship ID. Thank you everyone for being part of tonight's section. Let me know how is this night section. Drop your name, your scholarship ID, and also how is tonight's section. What did you learn? How impactful is the section this night? Let me know. Your name, your scholarship ID, much appreciated. Your name and your scholarship ID. Your name, your scholarship ID. How is tonight's section? All right, Joseph Kende. Okay, how is tonight's section? Let me get that feedback from us. How is the section tonight? Also, remember to drop your name and scholarship ID. All right, beautiful, very wonderful, sir. Okay, let's keep dropping our name and scholarship ID. I notice now that I'm saying name and scholarship ID, the number of persons start increasing. I know those that have been with me. I know those that have been with me. I know them. All right. How is the section for tonight? What, how is it? How impactful? Let me get that feedback. Is one of the things that motivate us. Very wonderful. It's one of the things that motivate us. Tomorrow, we are going to move into next aspect in data analysis. We are going to be going into a research phase of analysis and prediction of analysis, where we will be learning descriptive statistics and learning how to run some ANOVA tests, all these t-tests, sample t-tests, paired sample t-test, independent sample t-test, one-way ANOVA, how you can run that analysis in Excel. Tomorrow we are starting that aspect of analysis. We are going to start with data forecasting. After that, we move into analysis, descriptive statistics, and from there we move into inferential statistics, where we will be getting to look at the t-test, the correlation, the regressions, and then we cran it up with our data visualization and data modeling. Thank you everyone for tonight's section. See you guys tomorrow, same time, same station, same place.